I believe that bin Laden and Al-Qaeda are a threat to our national security. I've never believed that they're the biggest threat. The biggest threat to our national security is our continuous, egregious failure to adequately educate our nation's children. I think our country has consistently been engaged in the wholesale production of mediocrity, especially when it comes to minority children. We went out to the community and we took our story to the people, and we took with us and equipped ourselves with the data that clearly demonstrated that if we don't turn the bow of this ship and turn it now, we may not ever be able to turn it. And the community clearly understood that. Less than 25% of the kids are proficient on the state test. That's heinous. It's outright criminal. That was the sense of urgency for me as a superintendent.
And remember, we need to be patient.
I know firsthand kids can thrive and they will learn if you hold them to a high level of expectation and give them not only the tools, but the support.
Dr. Covington and others said, we are going to do this.
Yes.
And I think taking that stand and being so proactive from the very beginning that it is going to happen was a driving force.
The first year was making sure that we have a viable curriculum in place.
Guys, is that the first story that you learned how to retell?
2 years ago, we didn't have it. And so we brought together a cadre of about 100 teachers to come up with a methodology as to how we were going to deliver it. And we came up with standards-based.
What was the last one?
Our kid was the old lady one.
A standards-based school is definitely a school in which students are placed in classrooms based on their instructional level and not grade level. The students are given the choice of learning targets that they can choose on their own, and they must create 3 pieces of what's called evidence, and that's their work. You'll see a lot of the teacher facilitating and a lot of conferencing going on, a lot of cooperative groups, differentiated instruction. Those are a lot of the components that you'll see in a standards-based classroom.
I noticed that you could retell the story of there was an old lady all the way through. Good job. So what do you think that will get you?
And then we took the curriculum and it was divided into learning targets within a series of levels. And so the students basically work on those learning targets in a level, and then they move to the next level.
1 evidence, 2 evidence, 3 evidence, okay? So you're done with that one.
In the old way of doing things, if you get it, fine. If you don't, fine. We're moving, regardless of whether you got it or not.
When you was put in grade levels, it might have been too easy for you or too hard for you, but when you put on your level that you know that you're on, it's just right for you.
We have to cease and desist trying to force all children to be square pegs that go into round holes.
I'm working on a poem. I have to practice this so I can read it to the whole class.
The teacher is there to guide and to coach, to mentor and to monitor.
As a facilitator, they would come to me with their ideas, conference with them, and make sure they're headed in the right direction with that. Otherwise, they really builds up their own concepts and projects.
The students are in charge of their own learning, and they guide which direction they want to go. And as far if they have ownership of what I'm expecting of them, then I know that they'll be more willing and apt to do what they're supposed to be doing.
Once I get into the classroom, I don't just sit down and wait for my teacher to assign me work. I can do my own work that I want to do. Because you're going from just sitting down at your desk, just doing a worksheet, to
What did you have for breakfast?
actually being creative.
Leftover cereal.
when I went into the standards-based schools, God, every child actively engaged. Teachers are not saying, Johnny, put that down. Billy, don't pull her hair. None of that. It was just like I envisioned it. And then as you go from classroom to classroom throughout the entire building, you see it consistently. More important than anything else was the active engagement of kids and how they have taken responsibility for their own learning.
Now, 56 goes into 72 one time, and then it's the remainder.
And then we go out to a non-standard space school, and then you see what you're doing to kids. And it's just not a good feeling. And it's personal for me because these are kids who look like me. They came from broken homes like I did. They're poor like I was. And they don't have a snowball chance in hell of getting there if we don't fix it. And then, if what is true that we get from the United States Census Bureau that says that the black and brown community will be the nation's majority by 2050, how the hell do we expect the black and brown community to carry this nation when they haven't been properly educated? It can't happen. But we're gonna fix Kansas City.